Shalom, back with part 2. Let's continue here. All right. Let's get into now the this thing here. There appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon his head. All right. And this is not as difficult as it may seem. All right. Let's go to Revelations, the 17th chapter, to the parable. All right. Okay. All right. All right. We'll start here at verse 7. All right. Okay. And again, this is also mentioned, I believe, in, what is that? Revelations, the 13th chapter, I believe as well. All right. Let me see. Revelations, the 13th chapter. All right. See, also mentions it here. All right. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns. You see that? All right. So when we, do these particular scriptures and these breakdowns, the breakdowns are basically going to be the same, talking about, the 7 heads and 10 horns. You understand that? All right. So anyway, let's get started here. All right. And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? I will tell thee the mystery of the woman. The woman is talking about is the whore, America, Babylon the Great. Okay. See, if you scroll up to verse 1, and it says, and there came one of 7 angels which had 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, and I will show thee the judgment of the great whore, which sitteth upon many waters. Okay? You understand that? Now, that's parabolic. Again, the scriptures are, majority of this stuff is in parabolic form. Okay? Metaphoric. All right? Dark sayings. All right? The prophecies. You understand? Okay, so this is sort of metaphoric here and parabolic. So let's jump down to verse 15 to answer it, right? So, and I will show thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth on many waters. What are many waters? It explains it in verse 15, all right? And he said unto me, the waters which thou sawest, where the whore sitteth, are peoples, multitude, nations, and tongues. See that? America is known as a melting pot. All right. Now, you understand? It just has the Roman Empire, which, of course, were the Edomites. All right. So, what else? America has over 800 military bases globally. You understand that? Nobody else has that. No other nation. Right? It's like that. You understand that? All right. Further showing you who the whore is. All right. Okay. And what does it say up here about the whore? See? So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman, see? A woman, the whore, sitting upon a scarlet-colored beast full of the names of blasphemy. See? Blasphemy. Right? See that? Blasphemy against who? The Heavenly Father, Yahweh, His Son, Yahweh Shai. And against what? Their chosen people, the Israelites, the Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. Having 7 heads and 10 horns. You see that? You see that? All right. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, decked in gold, and precious stones and pearls, and having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and the filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was a name written, mystery Babylon the Great. She's no longer a mystery, not to, the elders and any of the brothers in this truth. It's not a mystery. So you see, people, we're not talking about the Vatican here. You're talking about America Babylon the Great, all right? The mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. And that's what that cup holds that she's holding up, all right? See, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations. All right, that's that cup of dreads, that cup of slavery. All right, that cup of abominations, filthiness, of a fornication. You understand? And let's prove it again here. If you go down to Revelations, the last verse, 18, it says, the woman, again, the whore, America, Babylon the Great, which thou sawest, is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. Who hands out the sanctions unto all nations? Who does that? Is it the Vatican that does that? Is the Vatican handing out sanctions unto all nations? No, it's not, is it? Is it Russia handing out sanctions onto China, the EU, America? No, it's America who's handing out the sanctions. And she hands it out to her own allies, the EU nations, which is part of the beast, onto NATO, onto, Venezuela, China, Russia, all right, Iran. You understand that, people? It's America that does that. So it's telling you, you should know who reigns over the kings of the earth. It's America, because she represents the last leg and extension of the revived Roman Empire. Now, to further prove that, the parable here. Okay? So we get back to the parable. All right? So, again, and the angel said unto me, wherefore thou didst thou marvel? And I will tell thee the mystery of the woman, right? The whore, which is America, Babylon the Great, and the beast that carried her, which had 7 heads and 10 horns. Now, let's help you with this. You see this here? What does it say there? Beast with 7 heads and 10 horns. See that? Is NATO. That's the beast. Okay? The EU nations are the 10 horns. All right? That's your financial and political arm. All right? And the beast is the military arm, the iron teeth of the beast, okay? And then you have America, all right, which is the whore, right? See her? That sitteth on the beast. You see the whore sitting on the beast, all right? Of the 7 heads. You see that? You see it? All right? And she's holding a golden cup in her hand, right? A cup of abominations. Okay? We'll come back to this. All right? We'll come right back to it. All right? Just to show you that. All right? Now, where are we? And the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. The bottomless pit is Europe. All right? And goeth into perdition. See that? Where else do we read about that? Well, we read it several places. One of them is what? Thessalonians 2 and 3, where it mentions, let, no man deceive you, right? And it speaks about, then shall that man of sin be revealed, which is the lawless one. When you look that up, all right, the man of sin, he's the lawless one, all right? He doesn't follow the ways of the Most High. Okay, he's opposed to it. It tells you that in the next verse. Who opposes and exalted himself above all that is called the God power. You understand? All right? But he's also known as the son of perdition, which means what? Destruction. All right? That's what he's about. He's about death and destruction. You understand that? All right? So, shall ascend out of the bottomless pit and go into perdition. He shall go into destruction. Okay? Now, and they that dwell on the earth shall wonder whose names were not written in the book of life from the foundation of the world, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is. Now, why is that? Because supposedly the Roman Empire already died. But you see, the Roman Empire did not die. Okay? Because, you have the same people in rulership. You understand? The Edomites first came into power as the third beast, the Macedonian kingdom under Alexander the Great and King Philip the Macedonian. All right? And they called themselves by the lands that they conquered. You read about that, Psalms 49:11. So originally, all of Europe, those were the sons of Japhet. Who are they modern day today? The Polynesians, your Hawaiians, your Samoans. You understand? So they got conquered and colonized. The same thing they did here in America with the 10 Indian tribes, the northern kingdom of Israel. You understand? And this is all prior to them kidnapping our brothers and sisters out of West Africa and bringing them over to join the Atlantic Slave Trade Party. You understand? Which started with the Northern Kingdom. So anyway, all right. So out of, the Macedonian kingdom, the third beast, they eventually, the Edomites morphed into what? The Roman Empire. Okay, the fourth and final beast, right? But remember that it'll tell you in the scriptures, and her deadly wound was healed. You can read that in Revelations, the 13th chapter. All right, like I had already showed you, which talks about the red dragon. All right, and the 10 horns. Okay, so whose deadly wound was healed. So this is why it says here, when they behold the beast that was and is not and yet is, which is what? The Roman Empire, the revived Roman Empire. Why? Edomites. You understand? So they were the third beast, the Macedonian kingdom, and they were the Roman Empire. Then they were put down for 1,000 years, which you read about in Revelations, the 20th chapter. All right? And when we go to Revelations, the 20th chapter, okay, when we go there, Salaki for that. Revelations, the 20th chapter, verse 1. All right. And I saw the angel come down from heaven having the key to the bottomless pit. Again, that bottomless pit is what? Europe, right? And a great chain in his hand. That's a spiritual chain. And he laid hold on the dragon. You see that? Who's that talking about? The Roman Empire, right? The Edomites, all right? That nation of people, all right? And again, they're not white, they're red, all right? Because their blood shows through their pale skin, all right? So he laid hold on the dragon, that old serpent, which is the devil and Satan. When you do these breakdowns, again, the dragon, again, it's a serpent, but it's reference to the Roman Empire. That old serpent, which goes back to the garden. We're not talking about a talking snake. We're talking about one of the sons of the wicked. Was not the earth given into the hands of the wicked? Yes, it was. Job 9:24. Malachi 1:4 tells you who that is. Esau, Edom. All right? Now, this is all spiritual, people. All right? Which is the devil meaning deceiver, right? False accuser, slanderer. And Satan means adversary, as in the human adversary, the human counterpart, all right, to the spiritual entity Satan. So that human counterpart, the one who plays the devil and Satan here on the earth, is Esau, Edom, the wicked, all right? And they bound them 1,000 years, all right? So they were put down for 1,000 years, people. You understand? All right, we're going to end this here, and we'll pick it up on in part 3. Shalom.